Strange lights illuminated Belgrade's winter sky in January 2025. Satellite imagery revealed something unexpected. Massive tank convoys moving through the capital under blazing floodlights, their engines creating a deafening symphony in the frigid darkness. This wasn't merely a ceremonial display, it was a declaration of intent. A country that the world had dismissed as finished was making an unmistakable comeback. The spectacle carried deep significance. Serbia, a nation strangled by sanctions and economic devastation, was suddenly presenting one of the region's most formidable military capabilities. Artillery pieces thundered, advanced fighter jets carved through the darkening sky, disciplined troops marched with unmistakable purpose. European capitals weren't simply observing, they were urgently recalculating their assessments. Everyone wanted answers to one compelling question: how did Serbia pull this off? Intrigued by nations that defy predictions and reshape their future? Hit subscribe. This journey is just getting started. Serbia's story begins in 1830 with independence from Ottoman rule. After centuries of subjugation, Serbians finally controlled their destiny. They pledged never to submit again, but sovereignty demanded building military strength from absolute zero. Village workshops produced rudimentary weapons while commanders absorbed European warfare strategies. Young volunteers joined, not seeking recognition but protecting loved ones. Raw survival drove everything. Yet the nascent force remained weak and undersupplied. Hostile empires circled constantly, making every frontier precarious. Still, determination persisted. By 1850, Serbia founded a military academy following French models, giving officers essential training and strategic thinking. Step by step, a credible defense force materialized. Between 1912 and 1945, warfare battered Serbia relentlessly. The Balkan Wars, followed by 2 world wars, extracted terrible costs. The infamous 1915 Great Retreat saw Serbian troops driven through frozen mountains, countless soldiers perishing from exposure and starvation. Complete defeat seemed certain, yet 3 years later, survivors emerged victorious. That reversal became foundational mythology. Corfu's military cemetery transformed into hallowed ground, where generations learned endurance's true meaning. Resilience became inseparable from national character. The 1990s delivered catastrophic blows. Yugoslavia's disintegration left Serbia isolated. Crushing international sanctions obliterated the economy. Financial institutions collapsed. Industrial production ceased. Military funding evaporated completely. Equipment corroded in neglected facilities. Installations emptied. Armored vehicles sat useless without fuel. Personnel endured months without wages. Aviators couldn't fly, and some received grain instead of salary. Witnessing grounded aircraft and abandoned bases devastated public morale. Global media proclaimed Serbia irrelevant, too impoverished for recovery, too feeble to matter. By 1999, barely 20 MiG-29s remained airworthy. Most analysts considered Serbia's military chapter permanently closed. Yet underneath the ruins, something was awakening. Curious how total collapse becomes dramatic resurgence? Keep watching. The real story unfolds now. During the early 2000s, amid post-conflict struggles, determined veterans rejected surrender. They trained young engineers in weapons repair and production using scavenged resources. Operating from humble workshops without budgets or official backing, they systematically restored technical expertise. This grassroots effort, fueled entirely by patriotic conviction, saw experienced officers guiding novice workers in rebuilding machinery from discarded components. By 2010, Serbia exported upgraded howitzers to Kenya, confirming the revival's authenticity. This modest success proved dedication could transcend desperate circumstances. In 2025, reinstating mandatory conscription marked a watershed moment. Over 75,000 reservists enrolled in training initiatives, and remarkably, female volunteers participated in historic numbers. This transcended military reconstruction. It represented reclaiming national pride. Parents beamed watching their children wear fresh uniforms, bridging heritage with contemporary purpose. However, regional neighbors expressed unease. Some worried this military renaissance might upset Balkan stability. Serbian authorities emphasized defensive intentions, though skepticism persisted. Training facilities implemented the Porcupine Doctrine, compact but extremely costly to engage. Throughout Serbia, one realization intensified: something far beyond personnel numbers was returning. Belgrade's manufacturing districts roared back to life. Long-dormant factories operated continuously. Serbia abandoned weapons imports, producing indigenous systems instead. Zastava firearms, Lazar armored platforms, and Nora 52 artillery entered mass production, all bearing Made in Serbia markings. Serbian armaments soon appeared across Asian and African markets. Export revenues reinvigorated domestic industry. The Nora howitzer, dubbed Balkan Thunder, epitomized this transformation. Questions arose. Could limited industrial capacity compete with superpowers? Some cited economic inefficiency, others championed sovereign capability. Domestic production costs more but retains knowledge and jobs nationally. Modernization included Chinese HQ, 22 long-range air defense systems, blanketing much of Serbian territory. NATO intelligence suddenly monitored Serbia as serious air power MiG. 29 SM enhancements extended operational lifespans to 2035, providing planning runway. Then came Europe's bombshell. A 2.7 billion euro French contract for Rafale fighter Serbia would receive 12 Rafale F-4s by 2029. Globally elite combat aircraft. Non-NATO nations rarely access such sophisticated technology. More astonishing, partial financing through Serbia's own arms sales, not foreign debt. This acquisition generated intricate diplomatic reverberations. Moscow questioned Belgrade's allegiance while Brussels pondered Serbian objectives. Serbia became the first non-NATO European state operating Rafales, fundamentally shifting international perceptions instantly. By 2025, Serbia maintained extraordinary diplomatic positioning, engaging NATO's Partnership for Peace while preserving Russian connections. Joint exercises occurred with France and China alongside Moscow spare parts purchases. Western observers labeled Belgrade the Balkan balancer. Serbia proved maintaining dual relationships without complete commitment was possible. One extraordinary week saw simultaneous hosting of NATO officers and Russian generals. Diplomatic mastery few achieve. Does this strategic independence story resonate? Like and comment your perspective below. By 2025, Serbia's military was unrecognizable from its 1990s incarnation. It deployed 242 tanks and 138 howitzers. Comprehensively modernized defense spending hit $2.42 billion, up 24% since 2022. Previously dismissive neighbors reassessed urgently. Analysts characterized it as a compact nation, substantial power, a porcupine among predators. Serbian weapons reached Kenya and Myanmar, validating industrial viability. Ultimately, Serbian strength never derived from scale. It emanated from spirit. The nation converted prolonged adversity into strategic assets, transforming painful history into focused action. From perceived victim to resilience model, Serbia demonstrated determination builds genuine defense superior to wealth alone. That January night when tanks thundered through Belgrade crystallized one truth. Serbia never truly fell, merely paused. From Ottoman subjugation to Rafale sophistication, Serbia completed remarkable renewal. This resurgence isn't aggression, it's respect earned through rebirth, proving authentic strength endures eternally.